whatever I need to do. I just say, Alexa, what time is it? And I get the time. I mean, when I think about how life has changed, it's our grandparents would be in awe. They really would be,
Well, I
especially
mean,
with
think
some of the
about
movies.
cell phones. I mean, cell phones came into being well when we were teenagers, or early. Well, I think my first cell phone I got in 1989, something like that.
My mom had a car phone. It was in a bag.
Yeah, one of those
Like,
great
I think
big
it was
bags.
like
Yeah,
1988.
I had one. I don't remember when I got it. It was one of them big flip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Early
flip,
90s,
with
yep.
this huge battery piece in the back,
That lasted 5 minutes.
that lasted 5 minutes.
I don't know.
They've gotten thinner and bigger and way more expensive. That's all I can say.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It really is. And I can't understand everyone buying a new iPhone all the time. I mean, come on, the prices of those iPhones. Oh my God. Outrageous.
They're like $1,000.
They're $1,000. And I think the newest one is more than $1,000.
It's 1,200.
1,200.
The
Yeah.
FX,
Like,
yeah.
really? Every time you turn around, they come out with a new model at least once a year. Come on.
I
Really?
will tell you that I did talk to an AT&T employee, and you know what has come about this recently, because you know how you used to be able to go in and if you bought a 2-year contract, you got your cell phone.
Right.
Came with it. Well, that stopped, and then they started charging you for the phone, and it gets pieced out over the 2 years.
2 years. Mm-hmm.
You know what that has produced? People keep their phones longer,
Yeah.
and they sell less of them.
Good. Good. The people are getting smarter,
Right.
I hope.
Well, I just got a thing from AT&T, and it was buy one get one free for the.
Well, I think they're figuring out that they're not selling as much as they used to.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's about time that they. Well, actually, I don't know. I think they ought to start training their employees to be a little nicer. Customer service seems to be something that's lacking in
That's
2018.
everywhere.
That's
Unfortunately.
everywhere. I think people have, for some reason, like back in our day, customer service was the thing, and you were kind and you were nice to people. Now people are not nice.
customer
You
was
wanna know
always
A lot of
why?
the customers
You wanna
are
know
not
why?
nice.
In 2018, companies treat their employees like crap.
Oh yeah, they do.
So they're miserable.
So they're miserable.
And they pass that along to their customers.
To the customers,
if
exactly.
one thing could happen in 2019 is some of these CEOs could wake up and realize that your company is your people.
Absolutely.
It
That's
would
your
be-
first client.
It would be wonderful.
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I think
know.
a lot of companies see the population as you need us. So you're going to come to us. So we don't have to be nice to you because you need us.
But
Right.
that's why people are going to online purchasing, because they don't want to have to
why
go into a store
Jeff
where they
Bezos
don't have
has more
customer-
money than anybody else on
Oh,
the
yeah.
planet right now. Although he is losing half of it.
He
to
is
his
losing
ex-wife.
half of it to his ex-wife.
No
Yeah.
prenup in a common property state. Half.
Half.
It's like
He
a-
can live on
yeah.
half.
Oh yeah, he is,
I
and
know
she's
he
gonna
can
have a
live
ball on half.
but she's gonna have a good time.
She's
on
gonna
half.
have a good
And you
time
know
for the
what?
rest
She
of her
deserves
life.
it because he's got a girlfriend already.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
all over the news.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
Jeff
So
Bezos, you know,
karma,
what? You get what you get.
karma is wonderful.
It's sweet.
It's sweet.
Let's talk a little bit about the other stuff that's gone on in business and tech and all that stuff this year. How about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, and everybody has been hacked.
Everyone has been hacked. Yeah.
You get a message that your other people are getting duplicate friend requests. Don't take those friend requests. No, you're not. No, they're not.
Right.
You have not been hacked.
That's true.
Right. Right. I go on and I just, in the search bar, put my name every once in a while just to check, to see if there
And
is.
you have not been hacked.
No,
No.
I have not. But yet all my friends tell me that I've been hacked. Stop sending me those people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
If you do something that involves pressing the message and copy and pasting it, and you send it to me, I don't want it.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
here's another thing. If you are going to send me a friend request and I accept it and I immediately get a message from you, or you try to call me, I'm going to delete you
Absolutely.
and block
Absolutely.
you. Just
Absolutely.
Oh, and if you have no shirt on and you send me a friend request, I'm not even going to look at it.
So-
I'm going to delete it and block it immediately.
Our other billionaire, Mark Zuckerberg, he's been under fire because he lets fake news go out and he has bad business practices and he's not securing people's information. But yet, he's still a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So
What's
we got
it
to
to
see.
him?
We got to see where that heads with the. I guess lately, the European Union is the latest to really hammer him. They as a big block group, they could do a lot. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what to be continued.
Yeah. How about Tesla?
Oh, I
Solar
love
tiles,
Tesla.
solar cars. We were talking about this the other day. I don't think it's on our list of things to talk about, but how about self-driving cars? Do they scare you, or do you think they're cool?
That
They scare me a
scares
little
the
bit.
crap out
It
of me.
scares me a lot because if you have people who are driving cars and you have cars that are driving themselves, that could make for a very bad mixture, like oil and vinegar.
And who's liable?
Yeah, exactly. Who's liable?
Yeah.
You know, is it
The company itself, probably.
Well, I know Domino's. You can Google this, people too. You can go out and Google Domino's self-driving car. So I think it's in California. You can order Domino's. The car will come to your house. It's got a iPad like on the outside of the car. You swipe your card to pay for it. The window comes down when you pay. You take your pizza out of the car and the car window rolls up and the car drives away. There's no person.
Interesting.
And what if you don't want to pay with a card?
Well, then you can't
I guess
have
you're
it.
screwed.
You have to pay with a
It's like the
card in order to
Jetsons.
get it.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like the Jetsons, you
Yeah.
know. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's got the little hole for the bills, just like at the at the Weiss self checkout. I don't know. Maybe they do take cash, but I mean, like literally, there's no person handing you your pizza.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Okay, you know.
Well,
I mean,
I
when
think-
does it stop?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. When does technology become too much?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
the
think
question.
that would be the question.
That's
Oh,
the question.
Lizzie wants a Tesla, just so you know.
Okay,
Oh,
honey.
okay.
How much is a Tesla?
When you
I gotta look that
when
up.
you become a nurse, you can buy your own Tesla.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like when you grow up and get you a job, you can buy your own car. Period.
right.
You know, whether it's a Tesla or any other car. Yeah.
I have to tell you the one thing about Tesla. We talked about customer service earlier. So I dealt with Tesla and I had solar panels put on my roof. Their customer service is out of this world.
Really?
Wow.
So at least there is one very large company out there that I felt like I was completely pampered by them.
Wow.
So you
Okay.
can get
Pamper me.
you can get a Model S Tesla for $74,000.
Okay.
Keep
And
that
if
in mind,
you want
Lizzie.
if you want their higher end one, it's the Model S with the ludicrous mode, and that's $135,000.
And they're coming out with
Okay.
those big trucks
That
now
was-
that are solar paneled.
That's
Okay.
more than I paid
Well,
for
you
my
know,
house.
I have to say it's very
FYI.
interesting to me that at the crossings, which is here in the Pocono Mountains, they actually have the Tesla recharging stations.
There is a funny video of a gal trying to figure out where to put the gas in her Tesla.
The gas or
It's-
plug it in.
No, gas. She's at a gas station
Oh,
trying
my.
to figure out where to put gas in a Tesla. It is a hysterical video.
Oh,
The
okay.
Viral videos are fun. You know what I
So
mean?
Teslas run on
She-
gas?
It's run on electricity.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
So
I'm
they
like,
have the electric chargers. They're white, you
Mhm.
know, and they kind of
They actually have them up at the crossings. They have a
Yeah.
Tesla recharging station.
wow.
Yep.
they're
Interesting.
white. They're like a little arch, and you plug your car in.
Interesting. I was watching something today about Uber, and that may not be on our list, but the guy who killed all of these people
yeah.
from Uber. Oh, you know what? I have an issue with getting into cars with strangers. I really do. I mean,
Well-
you don't know who you're getting in the car with.
There used to be there used to be a theory that you should not get into a car with a stranger. You should not share your personal information on the internet. You should not, you should be very careful. Now we are using the internet to get into a car with a stranger.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I mean, it's craziness.
There's
I mean,
no stranger danger in that, is there?
Wait, isn't that the truth?
it is bizarre. I think the world is getting bizarre. You know, I think we have to be a whole lot more savvy when it comes to the who, what, when, where, why, and how to's of what we do in the world. You know, it's becoming a little scary.
Yeah, his name's Jason Dalton. 100% does not care about the pain he caused families. He killed 6 people
Yeah.
in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
I was watching it. I had stopped at my girlfriend's house earlier because I was picking up some children from the bus stop, and it was on TV, and I was looking at it, and when they first arrested him, he looked wild and crazed. And, you know, when he was in court this time, you know, you would never have suspected that something was wrong with this man, that he was a serial killer.
Well, there are so many
Oh,
stories like that out
yeah,
there. And
really.
even if you look at the conflicts of this 2018,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, the Jewish synagogue where 11 people were killed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I truly believe that there is a shift somewhere where there is so much hatred right
And
now
anger.
in this country and anger
Mhm.
that people are doing things that are just absolutely horrendous. Not that there were not other things that happened prior to 2018 that were horrific, but we really had some horrific happenings in 2018.
Undiagnosed mental health issues.
That is it.
Undiagnosed mental
That's a
health
huge,
issues.
big
That's
old bullseye right
that
there.
bullseye. That's it. But you know what? The government doesn't feel it important enough to put money into mental health services for people, expanding those services.
You can't force a person over the age of 18 to accept mental health services. So even if there is plenty out there and things available, you cannot make someone over the age of 18 in the United States of America to go and get medication, to go and get therapy.
Well,
You cannot force them.
Well,
You used to be able to.
you used to be able to,
You cannot now.
but the
And
problem is,
and
for those
again,
who get medicine,
Is that
they
a
won't take it.
progression in our society?
Hey.
Because I think a lot of times, you know, we give everybody all these rights, but really, are we working in the best interest of our country when
So
we're doing that?
You have
Absolutely.
a completely out of control person like Jen had recently interacted with. You have an out of control person. You can't even get them services because they get denied them because nobody wants to work with them anymore.
Right.
So like it
True.
goes on both sides. So you have this, say you have a person in your family who you know is going to do something horrible. You have to sit around and wait for them to do the horrible thing before anything happens
Mm-hmm.
in today's society right
Yeah,
now.
and that's sad. That is really
I
sad.
think
Well-
that one of the things that should be done is, you know, because you can't force somebody over 18. So then how do we help the people under 18 getting funding for schools to have counselors
Absolutely.
to really meet with every child? I don't know.
Well, I would say even prior to getting a gun or obtaining your license, you should have to go through some sort of a mental evaluation by someone that is trained for that, not just, you know, a questionnaire that says, do you have any mental health disorders? I mean, I had a tenant back in the day that was diagnosed schizophrenic that said, no, I have no mental disorder, and got a gun. So tell me, how is that really, you know, that kind of, you know, 3-day waiting period or whatever it is now, if it's not really a truthful answering process, how does that become, you know,
How do you
does
control
become
that?
changed? How do you
Yeah.
control
How
it?
do you control it? Yeah. I call it the new age genocide. You know, if they go out and they kill a X amount of people in the United States, that's X amount of people that society doesn't have to worry about, you know, doesn't have to deal with or have to fund or whatever. It's in my opinion, the new age genocide. They don't want to do anything about it, and it will continue. And so we as intelligent and self-caring people have to decide, how do we best protect ourselves and our families? That answer is, you know,
Well, it's different for every family.
yeah, it is. Really, it is. You know, the answer is just, you know, up in the air. You really don't know. You do the best you can, but that doesn't guarantee that you're not going to become a victim of somebody else's craziness.
Well, I also think that it is within each one of us to try and help better our community.
I
So
think
many
so.
people do not want to get involved anymore, but the more involved you are, the more you're able to help others. And if you help others, you're helping yourself.
I agree, but you know what? I think there are a lot of self-serving people out in the world today. I mean, there are a lot of us
I
who
agree.
care about people and do whatever we can, but there are a lot of self-serving, me, myself, and I kind of people out there.
And stressed out people.
And stressed out.
Because
Yes.
they're living paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
And, you know, they're working a job, taking care of their family, you know, single mom, single dad, whatever.
It's craziness.
And I think that helps.
Well, and as
push people
taxes
over the edge,
increase,
too.
I mean, it's just like, as a realtor, our dues, because we pay dues to our board of realtors, and they continue to increase. And I think that rather than looking at how can maybe the dues become more affordable for people, it's almost like it's a joke, and it's not a joke. This is people's livelihood, and if they don't have the tools that they need, there's got to be a better way.
And
so let's talk about first last year. I'll just give you a long list, and if we want to, we can talk about it. If we don't, we can skip over it.
Okay.
These are first from 2018.
so we get to yay or nay.
Yay or nay?
Okay.
Well, it's interesting first stuff. Colorado elected its first openly gay governor, and it's the first openly gay governor in the entire country. The first Muslim and Native American women were elected into Congress.
Bravo, bravo to all of
Pennsylvania has its first transgender surgeon general, which I did not know.
Oh, wonderful.
A city in Georgia became the first to have its entire criminal justice system led by black women.
Amazing.
Amazing. Yay.
Let's see what else.
For the first time in Iran, women were allowed to attend men's sporting events.
Yep.
And
Wow.
for the first time, a woman was interviewed for an NBA head coaching position.
And it was the first time we heard the sound the sun makes.
Well, that's very
How
interesting.
about that?
Because
Wow.
for the longest time there was not much to do with anything extra,
Yeah.
outside of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember watching the first man land on the moon and being so
Oh, yeah, I remember
fascinated.
that. Yeah.
Right? You remember
John
that?
Glenn.
And then, yes, John Glenn, and
Yes.
putting up the flag. And I remember just it being such a historic day, but there's been very little of that since then.
And I think one of the things that really got me was when that ship went up and it exploded. I'll never forget. I was watching TV that day.
Challenger.
The Challenger. I think that that's something that's embedded in my mind. You had the teacher and you had all of these astronauts and people who, it was just heartbreaking to see that,
I
Well,
remember
but
sitting in my
NASA
elementary school cafeteria
Mm-hmm.
watching.
I was
watching
in
that
school.
happen.
I was in
Yeah.
a classroom with a bunch of other people in high school watching it happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, that's not supposed to be like
I mean, you
that.
kind of went,
Yeah.
and you couldn't move for a few minutes. It was, I still get the chills thinking about that.
So I think we're going to end the show with kind of like our Oscar moment, but we're only going to talk about a couple people so that we can dive into it a little bit. We had Kate Spade passed away this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, she committed suicide.
Yes.
And I know Mama C's fundraiser on Facebook.
Well, my birthday dealt with suicide. I mean, as someone who almost committed suicide years ago, and I remember sitting on my couch with the glass of water and this bottle of sleeping pills. And what stopped me was I started to pray, and I was asking God, please help my daughter and my family and my friends to understand and to forgive me. And the message I got back was, if you do this, Tiffany will never forgive herself. And I realized that message was right, because she was the one I was having trouble sleeping, and she was the one who gave me the bottle of sleeping pills. So to have used those sleeping pills and leave my daughter with a sense of guilt for the rest of her life, I couldn't do that. I mean, I just wanted my pain to stop. I wanted to be gone. Everything just felt so dark for me, and I just felt like I didn't want to live anymore. So for my birthday, I did a suicide prevention fundraiser.
It's out there on Facebook.
And it's
so-
on Facebook, and it's so important because people do get to that point in their lives where they feel totally hopeless and desperate. And when there's nothing to stop them, like I said, I began to pray. If I hadn't began to pray and just took the pills and the water and drank the water, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I guess there were more things for me to do in life, and I have to say, getting the chance to meet my beautiful grandchildren and help them to grow and become has been one of my most wonderful experiences. It's challenging, but it's wonderful too. So I look at all the things I would have missed out on had I followed through with the suicide. I'm very glad that I'm a praying woman, because that's what stopped me.
Well,
Oh,
we
yes.
are very glad that you are here today
Oh,
with that
Jen.
beautiful smile over there.
So we also lost Burt Reynolds. What was Burt Reynolds famous for? Do you know?
Cosmopolitan Centerfold.
No, well,
No,
no,
there
it
was-
was
there was a
Playgirl.
movie-
Oh, Playgirl.
That was
Playgirl? I
in
thought it was
Playgirl.
Are you sure? I thought it
Yes,
was
he was
Cosmopolitan.
naked.
Mhm.
It
Oh,
was
he
the
was?
he was the first centerfold in Playgirl.
Ooh, okay.
Completely all natural.
Well, you know what? With Hugh Hefner gone, what's happening to Playboy? I don't hear much about
Well,
that
Playboy
anymore.
kind of got a little bit more mainstream
Okay.
than it ever did.
Right.
So,
okay. So
and
It-
then people that we lost that were that lived very long and
Fruitful.
fruitful and public service ridden lives were President and Barbara Bush. We lost them this year.
John McCain.
I have to say that George W. Bush's eulogy of his father, it's out there on YouTube too. You can watch it. It is the cutest, most heartwarming discussion about his dad. You know, this guy who was a president.
Right.
It's really an interesting look into the kind of things that he did. Like one of his buddies, when he was like 90 and in the hospital, one of his buddies snuck a steak and a bottle of vodka into his hospital room. Like he was
God.
a saucy old guy.
A saucy old.
So, and then of course Aretha Franklin.
Oh yeah.
I think that was
The Queen of Soul.
that was a big loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a lot of people because so many people were affected by her
They were
various
touched by
songs.
her,
Like,
yes.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
her songs were
Well, and her
over
life.
decades and yeah, I mean I remember, have you ever
She
seen
had a long love life.
Yes.
Yes, she did. And you know what? I was amazed to find out that she had her first child at something like 12 or 13.
Yes.
And, you know, all of her children were close to her own age. And so they kind of grew up together. And I thought that, and then I've heard stories that she could possibly have been the victim of incest. There's a lot of stories out there you don't know, but you know what? She was an amazing woman. Whatever the stories are, the fact that she became who she became, she didn't allow whatever happened to her in her life to tear her down. She just kept going. And I think that's the story behind her life, that no matter what happens, you got to keep going. You got to believe in yourself. You got to use your talents and your gifts and just blossom no matter what. Just overcome everything. And that's something I've tried to do, having been an incest and a rape survivor. I've just decided that those things were not going to take over my life. They were not going to destroy my life, that I was going to grow and become the best woman that I could possibly be. And I'm still holding on to that.
Well, we lost Stephen Hawking.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was
he
my role
was-
model.
He was an absolute amazing man. He lived to
Amazing.
76, which was way past what his
They told him
expectation
what the
was.
expectation was. They gave him 2 years to live after he got this particular disease.
He lived his amazing life with ALS,
Yeah.
which and I mean, you know, everybody knows who Stephen Hawking was, and he's a theoretical physicist.
Theoretical physicist. Yeah.
I bought one of his books for Connor for Christmas.
Amazing man.
You know, so
Oh,
yeah.
I think that before we end the show, that we should all be a little bit transparent with our listening audience and tell them what our expectation for ourselves are in 2019. I think we each have some sort of a goal that we've set for ourselves.
absolutely.
Jen, why don't you start us?
Well, my goal actually is just very simple, to just keep living. You know, after all that I've been through for the past 3 years with getting through the stage 4 cancer, getting through the lymphedema, today, you know, this year, my goal is to really take life to the next level. closed that medical book, started skiing again, going skydiving. One of my doctors asked me to go scuba diving this summer. So it's about taking that full breath of life.
Absolutely.
Well, and
I
I'm going
agree.
to try to get healthy. That's my goal. I have a couple medical issues that I do have to address that are going on right now. I started out on my Sister Chat Holly Facebook page. You can follow me. I'm doing a 30-day Arbonne challenge. Thanks to my sister. I don't make any money off of this or sell any products. It's just me trying to do something for me. And I'm sharing it over the 30 days. I'm on day 4. And I feel pretty darn good. My goal is to get to where I can have a medical procedure done and get through it healthy and good by the summer. So that's my goal for this year, to
Awesome.
get my medical stuff together.
That's great. My goal is also a very simple one. It's to continue to fight the good fight. And what that means is, I've always been a proponent for the underdog, whatever challenge that may be. And I don't see myself ever stopping that. There are so many people that I see that I would like to be out there helping.
And we're going to do a lot of that with Women United. I know you're stepping up to help with that.
Yes, I am. I plan on stepping up and helping with some of the fundraising for Women United in the future. This past year I've been helping Pocono Alliance do some of their fundraising. So that is something that I feel born to do, and I will continue to do that.
Awesome. Well, I came into the new year saying I need to drop the rest of this weight. I had the gastric bypass surgery in 2001, and I was 283 when I had the surgery. I went down as low as 175, but I went back up to right now I'm at about 208. And 6 days ago, I was 213. I've decided to do the keto lifestyle. And I have a terrible, terrible addiction to carbs. And I've known this for a long time, but I couldn't pass up some bread and butter, But I came into this year feeling like it was time. And I really have been sticking to it and feeling great as a result. So I want to get my health intact as well, because I have sciatica, which causes me a lot of pain. I think that lowering my weight will help with that as well. And also I have to have a double knee replacement surgery. I'm probably going to do one at a time, but I'm looking at what I need to do for me to get my life in order so that I can feel my very best. So
me and Deb are going to be on the medical train, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
For a little bit. We want to remind everybody about the brunch.
We want to make everyone aware that we had 5 tickets at the beginning of the show. So that may be less at this point, but if you're interested in joining us this week and at Shimsa, we're having our New Year's brunch, and it is in honor of Mama C's birthday. It is Sunday at 11 o'clock. And it is delicious. It's $20 per person, but please go on our Sistah Chat Radio Facebook page and let us know if you are going to be joining us. We also want to thank our amazing sponsors, Brokers Realty, for all that they have done to support Sistah Chat in all that we do. And we also want to remind everyone that there will be upcoming information about our Mother's Day tea that will be in May. And before we go, we're going to have Mama C's words of wisdom.
And they read as follows. Follow your dream through the twists and turns, ups and downs, and all around, until you reach your desired destination.
Well, we got to get to the end of the year, right?
Yep. And you know what? I think we're starting off on a good foot, and that's a good thing.
I think so, too. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. You've been listening to Sistah Chat on WSMR 100 FM. Make sure to join us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you, for some reason, you'd like to reach out to us, you can always reach out to us at sistahchatradio@gmail.com. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. This
Bye,
is Sarah
everyone.
Smith Katz. We're signing off. Bye now.
Bye.